Hello. I was just packing up from my previous sewing project and I was like, what am I going to make next? What am I going to make? So I couldn't decide. Oh, and by the way, excuse the mess. I don't have a sewing room. This is the my kitchen's there. That leads through to the lounge room area. So I don't know what this area is. It's just a mess. And if you can hear something in the background, the kids are watching an Avengers movie. Anyway, I couldn't decide what I'm going to be doing next. So I was thinking about it. What do I do? What do I do? And I'm like, I just kind of want to sew. So I'm like, well, why don't I just sew a project and in between a project before I commit to a big project. So I rustled around in my cupboard and I found this really weird shaped piece of batting. It's got the glue dots on one side, like it's really weird shape. So I thought I would cut this down to a rectangle and quilt as you go, because I love scrap quilt as you go. To me, that's just relaxing, it's fun, and I don't know, is it like a Zen meditation thing? So I would just go with the flow. Let me just put you down here so you can see what I'm doing. I was going to cut this to shape. First I need some scissors. So I was not even going to cut this to a proper shape with measurements. So I'm just trimming it off. And see, this later on, this could also be like a pouch of some sort, so I might keep that one as well. And where was the other weird shape? I think the weird shape was down here. So do I need a bag? Could be, let's see, a good sized tote. That would be a really good sized tote, a really big tote to carry. Whereas this would be a smaller tote. No, who wants a small tote? We'll go big tote. So we'll cut this side off here so it's even-ish. And then this will be what? You know what, even this will make a zipper pouch. Okay, so we've got the potential of 3 quilt as you go pouches, like a pencil case, oversized pencil case, like a small cosmetic pouch, and then hopefully a great big oversized one. And yes, I know it's got some big, where is it, big divvy bits in here. So, but you know, once it's trimmed up, maybe I'll just do that now. So my hopes don't get smashed later on. If I do it in half, and then cut this in half, it'll be easier to manage. And then I can, if I make, not all the time, I don't want to put pressure on myself, but if I make like these quilted projects, like totes and pouches in between projects, put them in the gift cupboard, at the end of the year I'm going to have a bunch of really cool totes and a bunch of gifts. So that's my plan. I also rummaged around and found this daggiest quilt backing fabric. I'm never going to use it. It's this like a sateen finish and it's like this daggiest green. But you know what, for the inside of a bag, who cares? So I'm going to cut that to shape, iron that on, and then pull out my scraps. Because scraps make me happy. So this is a bag of scraps I bought at some point in the year. Oh look, there's a bag of scraps. I was looking for Christmas scraps earlier. Oh gosh. I need to take them out and put them with Christmas fabric. I'm like, I had them, I couldn't find them. Anyway, let's see what we got. I've gone through, I've got my maybe another time pile, and hopefully there's enough here for these 2 covers. Oh, so this is all basically strips. They're just in that scrap bag. I got that scrap bag from an op shop. I love scrap bags. So they're all like strips. So the good thing about strips is that you kind of can do like a, I'm going to call a lazy courthouse sort of log cabin-y type thing. There's also like a couple of patchwork pieces in there. So I'm just going to find a centerpiece because that's the prettiest. I want to show you my cheating tips. When I pull my lifter and turn and I pull, I still have the thread attached on the front and the back. It doesn't matter that the thread is still attached, because if I was to cut and trim it all the time, I'd still be having to waste thread. So in my eyes, this actually saves a little bit of thread, makes it a little bit neater, and then I just trim the back up later. And then after I do this row, I'll show you my other trick. When you finish stitching this row, you just lift it up. You don't do anything, you don't trim it, you don't do anything. You see the thread is still attached. It's attached on the front and the back. And you just run up that thread on that seam there, and then you push this over underneath the foot, and your thread is there, and then you just sew down. Found another piece of scrap of some sort of batting of some sort. It's a weird shape, but it's big enough for 2 pockets for the inside. So I'm just going to trim and make pockets for the inside. I'll do it the same way, I think, maybe, I don't know. This is what I have so far. I have 2 rectangular squarey shapes of quilt as you go fabric, and I have 2 pockets that will go on the inside. So this was quilt as you go with the backing on it, and then these were just quilt as you go, and then I put the backing on just to hide that because it's a pocket and I wanted the edges finished a bit better. So now what do I do now? So I'm trying to figure out the size. So just in case you're wondering, it's approximately, let's see, that's 12 inches to the line. It's approximately 22.5 inches, and that's 12 and 20 inches that way. So 22.5, 12, approximately. Now, it's actually approximately similar size to another bag I made a while ago. I love this bag. I wear it all, I use it all the time. This was made out of tiny, tiny little scraps. And I just put it up a big pocket on the front and back with just black and white with some really easy heading tape. Now, as straps, I might actually make these straps this time a little bit longer, because I can't put, that's not quite long enough to go over the arm. So I did find some heading tape. I found some, I don't know what colour is this, like a beigey colour. So I might use that up, make them a bit longer. Now, how am I going to do this? How am I going to join it all together? I'm going to put that on last. I guess I need to do the pockets first. So I'm thinking I will bind the top so I'm not worried about that. What I was thinking is, just to experiment, I might actually do a French seam for the sides to see how that works. So French seam, you do pretty sides out. You do both you sew along here and then you turn it inside out. And then you do another seam. Just I want to see what that looks like rather than doing binding. I just want to do the binding on the top with a handle. But before we do that, I need to add pockets. So just like, oopsie, like a pocket there. So I'm going to add the pockets and sew them on. I think I'll do 3 inches down from the top and just center it-ish. Yeah, about here, I think. Okay, so the pockets are on. Easily done. You can't see from the back. I think this will be the back one, but you can't see where the pocket is, but the pocket is here. So like I said, I'm going to try to French seam it. That means pretty sides together. So no, pretty sides out. Oh gosh. Yeah, you do pretty sides out and then you turn it inside out. Yes, I know that. So we just line up the top and we're just going to do a seam down the side. And then once it's all trimmed, we turn it inside out, because then we're going to sew the stitch on the other side. And then we'll box the corners. And then hopefully it'll start to look like a bag rather than a giant cushion cover. Now don't worry if you can't get these all the way out, because when we box the corners, we're actually going to chop off those ends. So the question is this going to work, or is the seams going to be too thick? See? Sacrifice I'm making for experimenting. Now you could of course iron it, but I don't want to iron. So now you can feel the seam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the foot down the side, not from here, but I'm going to run the foot along here to create a new seam, and that's going to hopefully enclose all these raw edges. Let's see how this is going to work. So we've done all the seams, and then as you can see, it hides that raw edge, and it looks pretty good actually. Now this, oh sorry, whacked the camera there. That looks pretty good. Now there was just one little bit along the bottom underneath the sewing machine where it's got a little bit of a raw edge, so I'm just going to pop that under, run the sewing machine across it a couple of times, and it'll be good as new. Now this is the other bag I made, and I've boxed the corners. Now I don't really measure these things, but let's have a look to see how wide this was, because I know there's always someone that kind of asks. Where's it? So it's like 4 inches wide, so that's actually quite a good size. So I could cut out the bit here, or I could come along and do it this way and then just sew. I've got all the scraps, haven't put the scraps away. So let's see, if we line it up along here, if I line that this seam up with this seam, and I can feel it down here, that's going to keep that in the middle. I can feel it there. And if we come to 4 inches, oh, where are we going? This way. Right, 4 inches back to front is approximately, I have one pin that I've got, attached to stuff. So if we go to here, if we need it, we're probably going to need to mark it. All right, bear with me, I'm going to go find a marker. All right, a pencil. That's what I have. So along here. I don't know if it's going to work. It looks pretty chunky to me. It might not work, but we shall try. Life's about trying new things. All right, once again, we'll line it up down here and pin it down here somewhere. And 4 inches is here. Actually, what I've done is I've nested one seam that way, one seam that way, which is kind of working. So I might just go back and do the same, because how else am I going to get it under the sewing machine? It's that line. Oh no, I've nested it on this side too. There you go. All right, let's see if we can sew this under the sewing machine. Is it going to work? Let's just line him up a bit better so you can see. Let's see. I might have to come up to here and then do that side. I don't know. Needle down. This could be messy. I don't know. Oops, don't need to cut that off. Alright, take the pin out. Cut this off because it's like satisfying. I've of course got to come back and get all those threads, but let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so we've got 2. Let's have a look. What does it look like? Show and tell through to the other side. On this side. So I'm going to come back and we'll bind that. Alright. Have we got all the edges? All those edges look good. That looks pretty good for a boxed edge. The bottom seam's looking good. The side seam's looking pretty good. Did I just get away without having to actually bind the bag? I'll do a drop-in lining because I did quilt as you go. Wow, okay, let's have a look. Does this stand up? All right, hang on a sec. It's standing up, look. All right, so now to just trim off some edges, find some binding, cut some handles, and we're almost done. Not bad for some scraps. Look at one pocket, there's the second pocket. Just got my magical box of binding, but before I do that, I think we need to figure out these handles. So let's go, these long ones. These ones will go on the outside. Let's see. This is 3 inches from the edge, and 1, 2, 1. Okay, let's have a look. So this one's 3 inches from the edge, and then this one is also 3 inches from the edge. Is it? That's about right, right? That's gonna look all right. And then we can have these ones in the middle. Yeah, okay. So we'll sew these on. And then I was thinking, I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. So these handles are on the outside. I was thinking that these shorter ones would then like go here on the inside. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to, I don't have to line them up. I'm just going to sew them on like, upside down. I don't know. Maybe I should, oh goodness. Maybe I should pin them because when I turn upside down, I can't see what I'm doing. So let's see. There's one pin, and then it's going to come around No, hang on, it doesn't quite fit. Because if that goes, doesn't like that, so we're gonna what? Fold it like that? How are we gonna do this? Maybe we should do it on this side so I can see a bit better. So it fits like that, but I want it to be like this. So maybe I should just come in and go. Okay, how about we go, very technically we go 1, 1, 2. It's just gonna work. And then we come over here and we go 1, 2, and then this will be, yeah, it needs to be really short handle. I think that's going to work. Let's have a look. And then the binding's going to go over the top of that to secure them even better. Let's see, straighten that little guy up. All right, let's have a look. Yeah, because I only want, that's if you're just like, you know, going to the car and you just want to grab it and you want to put it in the car. And it's finished. So we've got big over the shoulder handles, and I'm just going to chuck my milk in it and carry it home this way handles. I love this idea. I think because sometimes, you know, you put it on your shoulder, sometimes you just want to carry it, so that's awesome. So the inside, we have one pocket, we have another pocket, and it's all, dropping it, it's all finished. So these heads got the French seams all the way down, and then bear with me for a second, and that bit there and the other side of it is that little boxed corner, so there's only a little bit of binding each, and of course I did the binding on the top. So honestly, I love it. Not bad for scraps. Now my son was trying to claim it, he wants it for a project bag. I don't know, the binding isn't perfect, but that's what happens when you've got all this stuff on the table with you. But I still like it, but I might put it in the cupboard for a gift for now, and then later on I can always give it to my son. Maybe I'll make a second one and see which one I like better. But yeah, so scrap fabric from the op shops. The lining was something I wasn't using. I already had this, so basically, and this batting was left over from from a quilt, I think, or something. I don't know. So not bad for a free project.